In the module, I talked about secondary succession and how fire can be a cause of secondary succession. And there's another very unique example of destruction of habitat that occurred in the Grand Teton National Park and just outside the park there that I'd like you to look at. And this was involving something called Slide Lake. So I'd like you to take a look at this module we prepared last summer. Today I'm in Bridger Teton National Forest just outside Grand Teton National Park in the state of Wyoming. And I'm standing in the rock and debris field left behind by the famous Kelly Slide of 1925. In that year, after a season of unusually heavy rains, the soil and rock became saturated with water and eventually gave way and slid across the Gravant River. That dammed the river, creating a lake behind it, which became known as Slide Lake. Unfortunately, after about 2 years, that natural dam softened and gave way, and it created a horrible flood which devastated the town of Kelly down below, killing several people. In addition to that geological story, though, there's a biological story here as well. And it is that this rock and debris field then became habitat for a number of different organisms. Some of those include the pika, which is a relative of rabbits and hares, as well as marmots, also golden-mantled ground squirrel like this area particularly as well. What's also interesting is that a number of the trees that you see around me are actually older than the slide, which means that they were initially living up on that hillside behind me. They actually survived the slide and continued to grow down here as well. Also, when you look at the rocks in this area, you'll also find a number of different types of lichens growing on them. And this is initiating still another biological story and a place where biology and geology interface, in that they are beginning to weather that rock, creating sediments and eventually contributing to the soil, which will lead to transitions in this ecosystem over time from a rocky habitat to a different type of habitat. So again, this is not only a geological story, but a biological story as well.